Hello, my fantastic listeners. It is Nigel Bloody Tuffin, former child star, current podcast superstar, and future knight of the realm. And this week, I am strutting in like a peacock wearing Gucci loafers because Europe, yes, Europe, has once again absolutely demolished the US in the Ryder Cup. Golf! The sport of kings, posh dads, and blokes who own far too many pastel jumpers, and yet somehow, we Europeans still manage to beat America's finest on their own turf. It's like watching a Shakespearean tragedy, but with more polo shirts and less swords. USA fans, listen closely. How does it feel to lose to a continent? Now, for those of you who don't understand golf, let me explain it down to you. Let me break it down, give you all the bits. Golf is basically darts for rich people. You take a stick, you whack a ball, you walk after it, and eventually someone hands you a tiny flag. That's it. That's golf. And yet, somehow, the Americans keep getting it wrong. They've got these muscle-bound chaps who look like they should be starring in Fast and the Furious 12, Golf Cart Drift, but when it comes to actual skill, they crumble like a Greggs sausage roll left in the rain. You see, the Ryder Cup just proves what I've always known. The UK is superior in every way. Let's run through the list, shall we? Food. We've got Sunday roast, fish and chips, beans on toast. America's got, well, Pop-Tarts and lawsuits. Television. We gave the world Doctor Who. America gave us The Bachelor. Accents. British accents make you sound intelligent. American accents, on the other hand, make you sound like you're about to ask me if I want fries with that. And let's not forget culture. Shakespeare, the Beatles, Adele. Meanwhile, America's contribution is Guy Fieri. Now look, I know American listeners are clutching their Bud Lights right now, muttering, "But Nigel, we're good at other sports." Oh yes, you are. Baseball, which is just glorified rounders, rugby. You call it American football, but in your version you wear so much padding it looks like you're auditioning for Michelin tire commercials. Meanwhile, in the UK, our rugby lads play with no helmets, no pads, just a mouth guard and a strong desire to commit legalized violence. And then, after 90 minutes of absolute carnage, they shake hands, have a pint, and call it a day. Americans call that madness, I call it Tuesday. This segment is brought to you by British Superiority Tea. Are you tired of weak coffee, energy drinks, and pumpkin spice nonsense? Try a mug of British Superiority Tea. Each sip reminds you that you're from a land of royalty, class, and proper kettle usage. Now with 30% more smugness. The official drink of Ryder Cup champions. Alright, since I am now essentially Europe's unofficial golf ambassador, I thought I would share a few professional tips. Tip 1. Always line up your shots with the wind, unless it's windy, in which case, don't. Tip 2. The proper golf stance is shoulders apart, feet at a jaunty angle, and one eyebrow slightly raised. The eyebrow is crucial. Otherwise, people won't respect you, and we need respect. Tip 3. If you can't sink a putt, simply cough loudly. Distract your opponent, and kick the ball when no one's looking. Works every time, and possibly why I've been banned from 6 different courses. Alright, let me paint you a picture, lads. I hosted a Ryder Cup watch party in my flat. I had the Union Jack bunting, a Victoria sponge cake, and 3 inflatable golfers I bought off eBay. Halfway through, my American neighbor popped in, Todd, bless him, wearing cargo shorts and waving a stars and stripes like it was the second coming. By the end, Todd was curled up on my sofa crying into a packet of Walker's crisps while I serenaded him with the national anthem of the European Union, which, if you don't know, is just Beethoven's Ode to Joy. It was less of a watch party and more of a live performance of How to Break an American Spirit in 18 Holes. Aww. Alright, for our next sponsor, I'm proud of this one, very happy. This one's me. You ever feel like you weren't British enough? Don't worry. Nigel's Guide to Britishness is here. Step 1. Learn to apologize for absolutely everything. Step 2. Master the art of passive-aggressively queuing. Step 3. Develop strong opinions about the weather, scones, in which supermarket makes the best meal deal. Order now and I'll throw in a bonus section. How to look disappointed in Americans without even saying a word. Alright, let's get back on topic. The thing about Americans is they're so proud. Every sport, every movie, every cheeseburger, it's all USA #1. Well, not in golf, my dears. Not this time. In fact, I think we should replace the Ryder Cup trophy with something more symbolic. Perhaps a giant tea bag, or a bronze statue of me, standing smugly with my arms crossed, whispering, "Better luck next time, champ." Now, this may surprise you. I wasn't always a finely tuned athletic machine you hear before you right now. No, I once had aspirations of being a professional golfer. Picture it with me, lads. 1998, I was a washed-up child actor by then, 17 years old, desperate for a new gig after my breakout role on BBC Kids show Timmy the Talking Turnip had been cruelly cancelled. So naturally, I thought, golf, how hard could it be? Spoiler, very hard. Especially when you turn to the golf course in platform shoes holding the club backwards. I spent 2 weeks in golf lessons before the instructor politely asked me to never turn up again. Apparently, screaming 4 before every swing, even at the driving range, is not helpful. 4! Alright, and for today's episode, another sponsor here is Nigel's Junior Golf Academy. Parents, send your children to me, and I'll teach them the 3 core values of golf. Looking good in plaid, how to fake an injury when you lose, and creative excuses for why the ball went sideways. Nigel's Junior Golf Academy. We don't promise results, we promise character. When I once tried mini-golf, the little game made by Americans, I think, probably because it sucks, thought it would be easier, turns out it's not, especially when you're 3 pints in and you take the windmill as a personal insult. Let's just say I'm banned from 3 adventure golf centres in Greater London. Apparently, threatening to box the clown statue is frowned upon. Who knew? Alright, let's get into something we love every week, reading fan mail that definitely exists. Right, I got a lot of letters this week, mostly from Americans, probably not happy. Here's one, Nigel. Golf isn't even a real sport. Love, Brad from Kansas. Well, Brad, if golf isn't a sport, then why do you keep losing at it? Boom, mic drop. Got him! Letter 2, let's see. Nigel, why do you call soccer football? Alright, we're stopping with the fan mail, jumping right into Nigel's rant. You see, Americans always shouting freedom, but do you have Greggs? No. Do you have proper football? No. Do you have a monarch who waves like a confused gardening gnome? No. What do you have? Cheese that comes in a spray can? A flag so loud it looks like a child designed it with crayons? And a sport called baseball? where it takes 4 hours for absolutely nothing to happen? Meanwhile, Britain gave you Shakespeare, the Beatles, fish and chips, and now, yet again, the Ryder Cup spanking. You're welcome. Alright, and for our next segment, let's get into some new catchphrases I've been working on. Europe forever, America never. Spray cheese is not a condiment. Get that on a t-shirt, somebody. Alright, and for our next sponsor, tired of not being smug enough? Sign up for Nigel's Smugness subscription box. Every month, I'll post you a small item that proves you're superior. Half-eaten scone. Subscribe now and get bonus recordings of me whispering "you're better than them" into your ear. Alright, so there we have it, my darlings. Europe wins the Ryder Cup. I know we made a lot of this episode based on that, because that's just who we are. We're smug. You don't like us, but we love ourselves. The UK remains glorious. The Americans can go back to playing rounders with sticks. This has been Nigel Tuffin, reminding you once again, the spotlight never dies. The spotlight never dims. The spotlight still shines. Now, if you'll excuse me, I've got tea time booked at the local park. They won't let me on the course anymore. Something about endangering ducks. Toodaloo, bye-bye, adios, see ya, bye, later, alright, bye.